Welcome to Breaking the Chains. I am Bakita and I am here with Titus. We are going to be talking about dating in Ghana. We hardly ever get to hear from the men. So we're going to talk to a man who is from the diaspora, has been in Ghana for years, trying this dating thing. And tell them a little about yourself, Titus. I know some people know you, but
right on.
some people don't. So tell them about you.
Okay, I'm Titus Busbee from Alabama. First moved to Ghana in 2017, and been going back and forth, but pretty much stayed in Ghana since then. We did the touring thing for a while. We're doing farming in Ghana, and we're just letting people, that other diasporans that's coming over, we're just giving them a repatriates version of what a tour would be like with us, and just enjoying living in West Africa.
So what made you I talked to Tyree, and as people may know by now, you all are twins. You guys are identical twins, right?
Right.
And I know you all were intending on going to Nigeria initially, but you decided to come to Ghana. Ghana, what was it about Ghana for you that made you just like, okay, let's try it out right here?
Well, Kwame Nkrumah book, we read it back in 2016, and but it was a brother that reached out to us when we didn't get accepted into the master's program in Nigeria. A Ghanaian brother from Kumasi, he reached out and said, "Oh, y'all should just come to Ghana." But when he said it, it was like, and then we went back to that Kwame Nkrumah book, and we seen how many diasporans was there, and we was like, yeah, let's just go there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good bit of us there, and I don't think people know, or a lot of people don't know, that there are diasporans that's been there for 20, 30 years now, 40 years now. We got it's a good bit of us there. I don't think it's as cohesive as it should be, but it's plenty of us there. So we're talking about dating. How did you find yourself, in Ghana and starting to look at dating?
At the beginning, I was just like looking at how brothers approach women there, because I wanted to be like culturally kind of blend in. I didn't want to be like the American as far as approaching sisters, but they were like just as forward as we are, but more intimate with it. So we'll maybe say it from a distance, like, "Excuse me, sweetheart, come on," you know what I'm saying, or something like that. But they'll go up closer and maybe touch on the arm or something, and like do it, in an ear or something like that. And I was noticing that, and I just wanted to like pick up on different ways to approach. And then I saw how family oriented everything was. Like it would be like a uncle introducing his nephew to one of his friends, niece or something. It was all like a introduction thing like that. So I thought that was really, really cool. So I just stood back and watched for maybe like a year.
Yeah. So you didn't date for a year in Ghana?
Yeah, at the beginning.
I think it's smart.
Yeah, because I didn't really know anybody for real too, and it was just like I didn't want to holler at nobody's wife, because a lot of them were. And I didn't really know anybody to just be, going up try to mac on somebody. So,
so you just mentioned that a lot of them don't wear rings. Over time, like why did you find that to be a thing? Like, because I noticed that too, like a lot of people are married, but they don't wear rings the way we typically do. So like in your interaction, like what did you find out about how that works?
You basically gotta just go and ask. a lot of the stuff as we do in American is more like body language.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if she got somebody, she gonna let you know even before you come and approach. But there it's just all open, so you just gotta really just go and ask. You have a boyfriend or you married, or you know what I mean. It's just, and you know, when you say that in English, they gonna say no regardless, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to ask them that in tree or something.
So speaking of tree, did you find that like learning some tree or knowing or understanding some tree made it a little easier for you when it came to approaching the women?
Not really. I think us as diasporans, we got a kind of a swag that already scream you ain't from there type situation.
Yeah.
They looked at it like, oh, he trying to learn the language type situation, and that was like cute to him, you know what I'm saying? It worked out that way, but you know, they already knew I wasn't from there.
Yeah. So when you were you know, we've seen in the groups or whatever, the conversation comes up about the relationship between men and women, and how, you know, it's very clear that you and your brother are not interested at all in marrying a woman with children.
Right.
So how did you find yourself like navigating the fact that there may be more women with children there than you probably thought?
It was a shocker. That was another culture shock that I had to go through, and it's a bummer. I ain't gonna lie, it's a bummer because that's my only deal breaker. You know, my reason to try to date in Ghana, you know what I'm saying, was to try to find something like that. But you know, I try to see the positives in it. You know what I mean? Just do what I can. You know what I'm saying? I still, that's still a deal breaker, but at the same time, I don't like, you know, get them the third degree when it comes to like reciprocation as far as like talking. You know what I mean? They really feel insulted if you say something about them being a born one or whatever, because culturally it's, I don't know where it came from, but culturally it's just like a normal thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that in the States too, so I ain't hating, but I just thought it would be different when I went there, you know.
So now that is one of the things that I found, like when I would see you all having these conversations in groups or whatever, I thought it was really interesting. And I could tell you all hadn't been there yet because of how the conversation would be held. Like, you know, I know some women from here in America tend to feel like some of the men from here have a higher esteem or something for the women that are there, because you all, it seems as though you all think that the women there are, for lack of better words, better than us. So like, how do you, now that you know, how has your view changed, if any?
The only thing I can say is it's the same amount of rarity to finding a good person, no matter where you are. But the closer that the sister is to the culture or traditions, the more they vibe with a guy like me. You know what I mean? The more she attempts to be Western, or the more she attempts to imitate any culture outside of the normal West African, Ghanaian, whatever, it's that we don't vibe with. You know what I mean? So I think that's the only thing I've learned.
So at some point, somewhere along the line, I saw it was either you or your brother mentioned that the women from here were more sultry than the women there. Can you explain a little more? Like, what do you mean when you, like, what is it? Is it our swag? Is it their swag? Like, what is it? What's the difference?
I would say it's like subtle seducing over there in Ghana. It's like it's very subtle, but it's seductive. And the sisters here is more like out front, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, come on, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's how
I
it is
love
over
it.
But that's the only
We're a
thing.
little more aggressive, maybe.
Right. And I don't know what the real reason is, but I do know for a fact that when you get into the relationship aspect of it, we all the same kind of African people. Like you never like. I mean, the beginning part might be culturally a little shaky, but once you get into the relationship, it's the same thing.
Really?
Yep.
Wow,
yep.
That's interesting to know. You know, it's for me, being married to a Ghanaian, I've been in like early on in my relationship, I was in like these groups where they have like African American women married to African men, and or all of these foreign women married to African men type things. And I granted I'm not a man, but I haven't seen too many like groups for you guys who are looking to date women who are African or outside of our culture. So how do you all like? Do y'all have like I guess a support group to talk about the things that y'all encounter?
No, you like for real? You really have to seek out brothers that have made successful relationships happen and hit all the bumps. Because I literally did that. I took trips to go find brothers that made it work. You know what I'm saying? And it was a couple of them that told me some jewels. It was like, it's gonna take you at least 5 years to weed through all of the stuff. And I was like, well, how do the sisters find a Prince Charming in 2 seconds? How does that even work? And he was like, it's just the difference in between a man and a woman. You got to take the good with the bad. So I did that, and I think that really helped me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, I wasn't an impatient person about it, but I kind of just didn't understand, and he kind of broke it down. So stuff like that. And it was only those 3 brothers that said, yo, she made my life better here in Ghana, or whatever the case.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yes, so those 3 brothers, they really helped me out, and that's why I'm going to continue the journey to find the queen.
Yeah. You mentioned that the women tend to find their Prince Charming pretty quickly. I'm talking with a lot of different people about the relationships, and I think men tend to be more intentional about how you all date than the women are. From what I'm seeing, the women kind of just go with the one that choose them, right? Versus you all, you sifting through all of the mess. And I really wish the women from here would take that same time that you all are taking to actually get to know what's going on and learn about what's going on, because a lot of those relationships aren't as fruitful as it looks, as right. we all know. And I wonder, like, with the men who are going into these relationships, how risky would it be for the men as it is for the women? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
right. That's totally something to chew on too. And like I said, I seen a lot of brothers stumble, and the whole deal is for the sisters. The Ghanaian brothers are coming at them all the time. If I just sit there and never approach a sister, it's just cool, because they ain't gonna necessarily come to me and shoot their shot.
Right.
And no matter if I'm foreign or whatever, they don't care. They not gonna like disrespect themselves in their mind to come up to me and say something. So, it's just one of them things, man. I don't know how sisters deal with the barrage of, compliments, and just it's a lot.
It's a lot. But it's a lot of love bombing, and a lot of women are being approached through their insecurities, if that makes sense. Like, people who are predators can sense prey. You know what I mean? And I hate to speak about men as if they're some kind of animal, but men tend to have a predator prey type of relationship with us when it comes. It's like hunting, right? So you see these women, and you got a whole bunch of women out here, and it's like, that one right there look like it might be pretty easy to get, And I think that's what happens in a lot of cases, where it just seems like they choose the lowest hanging fruit. And I think women aren't, like I said, they're just not as intentional as men are when it comes to dating, and not knowing how things actually work in Ghana, like what it looks like to actually date, how the men are supposed to approach you, and all of the things that come with it. I think, and they're coming with that Western idea, and those men tend to kind of like latch on to the fact that, oh, I don't have to do none of this stuff. Hold on, I'm sorry, my internet connection. Okay, there we go. So those men tend to kind of latch on to the fact that they don't have to do none of the stuff that they have to do with Ghanaian women. They don't have to do that with us, or with some of us, a lot of us. So how did you like adjust to the fact that maybe you had to put a little bit more in to try to get anything out of them?
Yeah, I like it. It's good if it turns into something at the end. You know what I'm saying? It's like rolling the dice, but at the same time, you don't want to bet your whole check on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You just ease it in there. But it's kind of like paying dates over here, going out on dates and getting hair did and whatever that you do as you was courting and getting. But at the same time, the family's involved, so it's a deal. You know what I mean? It's a real. And the whole point I was just trying to like understand from the Ghanaian sisters is like, when a sister from the States love you, it's all self-evident. I'm still trying to like, how do I know for sure? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a cultural thing or a language thing or what, but you never have to question with a sister if it's real. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to think of culturally, how does she let me know that it's real when we doing this whole formalities and traditional isms and
Yeah, that's quite interesting. I never thought about that part because I haven't had to. But so like when are they not like as vocal as we are?
It's like, I just feel like since so many people are like, it's the family and the this and the that, so many folks is involved, you don't get the like, I don't know, like, let's just hit a block and drive to somewhere and just get, you know what I mean? Because it's the family. It's always my mom, my dad, my uncle, my this, my dad, my this. So the formalities just take a precedence to like showing that affection, showing that, you know, reciprocation.
So it would seem to me like dating there would be quite different then, because here, you know, when you're in the dating phase, the family isn't really involved, and we don't, like, you don't necessarily meet family right away. You know,
Right.
we're like, you don't meet the family until I know I'm really trying to deal with you for real. You know, so would you say that, how quickly do you have to meet the family?
It varies, but it's almost like, yo, the American guy keeps calling my phone. So in 10 minutes, at least the mom and dad and them know, you know what I'm saying? Or he likes me, and she done told, you know, it just, I don't know, man. To me, it always happens like, yo, the American twin is trying to holler so everybody know. That's it.
So how do you so how do you like, how do you, I don't know. I just think that would be like a lot to me. That would be like a lot, because, you know, for me, dating, and when I was in the dating scene, people didn't meet my mother. Probably met maybe 3 dudes in my whole life, like, because that's a big deal for me,
Right.
to bring somebody to my mother or my father, and I just can't imagine like every guy that I dated that my mother or my father, or my mother and my father would have met. I just can't, like.
Yeah. I can't, and I don't think it happens with the Ghanaian dudes. It's just like, it's always different for us, and you know, they tell us that, you know what I'm saying, you know, Ghanaian brothers be like, man, you should be happy, you should be, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But it's like, why can't I be regular? You know what I'm saying? Why can't I get the same?
That's
But hey,
interesting. So the treatment, do you think it's because you're a foreigner?
I mean, I would like to think that there's um there's sisters out there in Ghana that's like, okay, I'm gonna like let him adapt slowly to the situation. But I really feel like, since they think I'm trying to date their sister or daughter or whatever they trying to like speed up the situation. If I could just like maybe meet one that's away from her family. I haven't had that situation happen yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. Or nuances. I mean, I don't think our family structure in the States is nearly as involved with, you know,
With that
what
part of
y'all,
it.
yeah, they don't really care as much. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. You know, I think, like, for me, I think like being a southerner, um there's the similarity that I see is like, okay, you got to meet my dad, you got to meet my mom thing, but it's not like a right away thing. Like, I just can't, I can't see the kind of, I can't imagine the kind of pressure that must feel like to meet a girl today and next week she wants you to meet her mom and daddy.
oh man, Tyree had one like not even 2 days. Like, and she played she played it off like they was going to get something to eat, and she went past her mom and them house. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, I'm taking you to see my mom and them. We walking this way, and there go my mama right there. So let's go talk to my mama. Like,
so it was kind of like a little slippery. She slipped it in.
Slick.
She was slick with it.
Oh man.
See, I can see myself doing something like that. Like, hey, let me slide by my cousin's shop. Let's see what they say right quick. But I wish I could like be in y'all shoes. So like if you was just so I could just for the sake of knowing how it must feel. But if you was giving a guy some advice, he's coming to Ghana, he thinks he's gonna find his woman, and he thinks it's gonna happen right away because, like you said, us women tend to find the men relatively quickly. What advice would you give to the men?
I would just say, you know, watch the brothers in Ghana. Like they know how to maneuver when it comes to dating. So I would say, you know, don't imitate everything they do, but just pick up on, you know, a lot of them that, I mean, they don't get like, if a girl don't immediately jump on the hook, they on to the next one. It's so like, you know, we give a little bit more time. I say
right.
we give a little bit more patience, but they boom, bam, boom. Oh, she didn't bite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's quite interesting too.
Yeah, it's like just watch them. Even dealing with the sisterhood, man. I don't know why they put pressure on the sisters to born. They put it on the brothers too, but they put so much pressure on that they forget that the whole situation is different. But I would tell brothers to please just peep game, man. It really is it's like chess, not checkers, man. And we need to get off of that whole super fantasy love thing and just get real practical about like, yo, does she want to do what I want to do? Do she want to, you know, go where I want to go? Is she into the same things I'm into? Because it's really hard with the language barrier to find that out. You know what I'm saying? To find out if y'all got the same interest.
So let me ask you this, because what I've been hearing is like there's a big difference between like an Accra girl and a village girl, right?
Right.
So, you know, I know a lot of times guys think that because they're in Ghana and they'll meet these women and they're all gonna be like village girls. Can you explain like what's the difference between an Accra girl and a village girl?
Oh man, it's a lot of difference. But the one that's really tripping me out though, and it came later on in my last stay in Ghana. A lot of the village girls want to move to Accra to be like the Accra girls, but the whole thing, the mentality behind it is more westernized, more forward, progressive thinking type of like outside of the traditions. And you know, I get it. You know, we all trying to move forward, but at the same time, is certain things work and certain things don't even work, man. And
right.
That's just the whole thing, man. I'm done with all city girls globally. I don't care. We in Accra in Atlanta.
You can't find you a good country girl in Alabama.
They here, but they be hiding, man. And they don't really want to stay in the country. Like I said, even the village girls here, they don't want to be there.
Yeah,
they always want to.
That's
and
true.
I'm trying to.
And you probably would be hard to find somebody who would want to move to Ghana too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So with now this is gonna be, I know you've seen it, so we're just gonna go ahead and talk about it. There's a lot of people don't know or understand that in Accra, there you talk about, you mentioned that a lot of the village girls want to be like the city girls. And people don't seem to realize that the city girls there are very city.
Yes.
And they're like, you got people doing plastic surgery, you got people doing bleaching, they doing everything they can to like enhance their look. And you know, from they wear weaves and they doing, you know, all of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I think we all have this idea in our head, because even the women, we're surprised when we get there and we see like some of the stuff. Like I was just there a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh wow, they got on, they was like city girl, and like the booties, like the plastic, you could tell like it was some lipoing going on and some butt injections and stuff going on. So how do you even wrap your mind around the fact that you left the West hoping that you was gonna come, it was gonna be easy to come find you an African woman who embodied this idea that you had in your head, but that's not quite happening.
And you know, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like I try to stay out of a crowd in Kumasi as much as I can because of that. And just out of the city, and it's like so disheartening, you know what I mean? But I find the positives in it when, you know what I'm saying, over there, it'll get too hot and they'll take their wig off and you just it's stuff like that. It's just like, okay. You know, that type of thing.
I'm sorry. The way he just act like he just snatched it.
Yeah.
But it's true. They'll snatch that bitch off so quick.
Yo, that stuff right there, just like, all right, okay, we still in Africa. You know what
right,
I mean?
Right.
I get through with that type of stuff.
Right. That's pretty cool. So what would you say has been the hardest part of dating since you've been trying to date in Africa?
I would say, man, the hardest part would be like getting past the initial, you know, I really like this girl. And then you get ready to, you know, do everything. And it's like, I would say the best way to say it is, man, treat me like a African. Like, I don't want to get any tax hikes because I'm from the States, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you was gonna let some, you know, some brother from around the way have your daughter, you know what I mean? Like, if he was gonna get it before I came around, why you gonna jack your Mac up because I'm from the States?
So it's safe to say that the same concerns that y'all have about like the financial gain that people are trying to benefit from trying to be with a person from the US, is you all have the same situation.
But the difference is I can't even afford it once you hit me with that, and I really like your daughter. Like, why you me?
That's real, brother. That's real.
Nah, I can't even afford it.
Because they expect you to be coming with dollars.
Real.
Oh. So that list probably got extra long.
But then some of the brothers, like they be like, no, man, that's normal. So you know what I'm saying? But then it's like, I need a American person that's been over there. Like, and a sister, she did tell us to like get elder to kind of like vet out the situation and that whole nine. And I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna continue to take my time and everything. But the sisters are very beautiful over there, and they play just like everybody play, and I'm with the game now. I understand it. So
yeah, so now you have Yazid is there. Yazid is married to a Elway woman. He's been married to her for some years. And he would be very, very good to, you know, get info from. Brandon is married to a Ghanaian woman. So we getting there. Now we just got to get those men, y'all got to get together so they can help guide y'all, because having a family is important. So, you know, you need to have somebody who can represent you in this courtship, because as you said, family is so important. So, you know, I think it's important that as we continue these repatriation journeys, and more and more of us are returning to the land, we have to create the relationships that we need to have a better transition, because family is so important in so many aspects of like everything. Even when you're doing business, like your family is important. So, you know, I think it would be really good if I know Yazid is working on some things. He's been doing like consultations. He's willing to help people when it comes to standing in as a family member, understanding like some cultural things that we just don't, that you're just not gonna get. It's just not gonna come that quickly. Right. And I've been married for 10 years, and still, you mentioned body language earlier. Body language is such a, you know, I think our American arrogance tends to make us feel like, well, everybody does this, or everybody. No, everybody doesn't. And the body language is just so different. So when you say like, you can't tell whether she really feeling you like that, or like you would if it was a lady from here, you would know. You know, because that's the culture that you come from. Right. So I think the more like having you guys there and understanding and learning, y'all done been there, done that, y'all still learning. It's important that y'all share these things with other brothers so that we can have more cohesive reunification of these two cultures. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think you all should definitely be seeking to find women that are there. I personally wanted to marry a brother from the continent that was not raised here, because I wanted somebody who, for one, knew where their village was, they still spoke their language and all of those things, because in one generation, I'm able to return my family back to the land. I have children now. My children are able to go to their village and say, I'm Baggins' great granddaughter, and they know who she is, and their names are in the book, and all of those things were important to me. So for us to continue to make this journey, which is way more difficult than I think any of us anticipated. Right. You putting yourself out there, you and your brother putting yourself out there, and, you know, just trying is to be commended on a level, because for us as women, we don't have to go through the kind of stuff that y'all have to go through as far as dating. So I take my hat off to you, because the language barrier, the not being able to understand the body language, or having to really study it to see like, okay, what that mean? When she do that, what that mean? One thing I did want to ask is, when it comes to intimacy in these relationships, is it, how can I say this? Is it a easy or a difficult task to get there?
I think it's the same, man. It's African people globally, so it's like it's the same type of rhythm you would get if you was dancing. If you're feeling each other, and you know what I'm saying, the rhythm goes. But the one thing is like I don't know, in the States it's like nobody really cares who is talking to who, but it just seems like such a gossip thing, like everybody's so secretive and everything is so
There in Ghana?
Yeah, in Ghana it gets real kind of like stressful when you start to put feelings in. You know what I'm saying? When feelings get involved and it's like on both sides, it's just like wow. But the one thing I do hope they understand about, you know, us as being American men that's looking for wives, you know, it's a difference, because a lot of American brothers ain't really trying to get married. You feel me?
Right.
It's not, that ain't in our culture like as much as it is in Ghanaian
As much
culture.
as it is there, like there it's like you expected to get married, period.
Right.
Whereas here it's like, I mean,
yeah, if you choose to, shout out to you, bro. But if you don't,
right.
cool too.
Right.
But the ones of us that are trying to get married, we have a whole code, a standard, a whole, like, I guess you would say it's like we trying to do this thing right. You know what I mean? So I just wish they could tell the difference between the ones that's just out here trying to play and the ones that's out here.
I think maybe over time, as it's more and more single men coming, and it becomes more of a norm for us there dating, maybe it'll get a little bit easier. I don't know, because we're literally going into their culture, and just like when they come here, they have to adapt to the way we do things as Americans. We're gonna just really have to adapt to the way they do things there. And it won't be easy, but I mean, if that's what you want, you do it, right? We made the decision that we wanted to move to Ghana. We're making the decision that we want, these are the kinds of relationships that we want to have. So in that, we also made the decision that we taking what come with it.
Right.
Which is not always that easy, but clearly some men are able to do it. I think a lot of the men are there for a longer period of time, and I just think it just seems like you all, while it may seem a little more difficult for you all, I think you'll end up with better outcomes than a lot of the women are having, because you're having to take your time. You're being really intentional about your what you want. You know exactly what you want. You're not deviating from that as far as these few deal breakers that you have. And I think that's pretty dope. And I mean, the more power to you, because I don't know if I could. When I think about our men and straight going up into that society, y'all, I take my hat off to y'all, because I know that has to be shocking to have to really, you know, we come from this place where a lot of the women are very, I'm trying to be gentle.
Right.
I don't want to say man-like, but the women tend to be more.
They go get us.
Yeah. So, then you go into a situation like that where you don't have women who are gonna be approaching you. Like they're not gonna approach you. Whereas here, I can imagine you probably they just be coming because you guys are some handsome guys. So I know they just when you hear they be coming at you like.
It's a different story. We have to. That's why we put up our little blockades, man. We have you know what I'm saying? Because for real, I think it's like, and I might be biased, but I think African women globally is the same.
Yeah, I can see that. I think you guys are. I take my hat off to you. Have you ever considered? I talked to your brother about this, but have you ever considered maybe looking at this? It's a lot of single women from here that are coming there, and a lot of the women from here, they have very they want to be in traditional situations and they want to be in more traditional roles or whatever. So have you ever thought about maybe looking at women who are from here that decide to make that move, and maybe you all can like meet somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, I'm open to that. I'm totally open to that. Like, I haven't met anybody from the diaspora that was vibing, but if she come across, and man, that would be off the chain.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that, and knowing that there's a certain mindset that comes with I want to pack up my life and move to Africa, as just as being an African American. Like, as you know, that's not something that many of us are even considering. So just out the gate, you all have something in common because you decided to pack up and move to Africa. So I think you guys should consider that too.
Definitely.
So is there anything that you want to let the people know about you all, what you guys have going on, how to contact you? Let us know.
Definitely. Ghana Research Tours on Facebook, research_apparel on Instagram. Yeah, man. Anybody considering moving to Africa, put Ghana if you're thinking about it. Hey, that's about it.
Okay, great. It's been so cool talking to you. I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time. Before I let you go, it's one thing I got to get off my chest.
Do it.
What's up with the poly type of relationships? How have you found yourself, like, you think that's something you may be able to navigate in Ghana? Have the women been receptive to that in Ghana?
Yeah, in certain ways. But the whole thing, I haven't had a poly conversation come up that wasn't about money. And I'm like, yo, if it's like that, then what kind of relationship is we finna have? You know what I'm saying? So and when one comes up and it's more about, yo, this is good for us, this will work, and it ain't got nothing to do with, me not having nowhere to stay right now, or whatever the case is. If it ain't got nothing to do with finances and stuff, we can just talk about me liking her and me liking her. If we can just talk about that and go from there, then, cool.
Okay, that's cool. I've just, I've seen the conversation so many times, and I'm like, I really want to know, like, how was that working out for y'all over there?
It's big money. Folks that do it got big money. And
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I have been trying to, like, relate to people. Like, men who have multiple wives are men who have some money, because those women my father-in-law had 4 wives. He had 24 children. He had to take care of all those people. Before he left this earth, he told my husband if he could change anything he did in his life, he would have took one woman. And it wasn't because of the money situation. He just was like, you can't love more than one woman at a time, and it's always some conflict. I think people tend to want to believe that the majority of these relationships are so, wonderful or whatever. And in many cases, even the ones in Africa, there's a lot of stuff that come along with it, including a lot of money, because everybody wants you to take care of them and their children. That's just, and everybody want their own stuff. So I always want to, just kind of see where brothers is coming from, because I know here brothers tend to have some kind of idea of what a polygamous marriage looks like in Africa, right, and not really understanding that those men tend to be men of means, and those women expect those men to take care of everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you for the wig snatching and all of that. I just really enjoyed talking to you. We have to do this again. Tell your brother I said hello, and we got to link up at some point when we all back in Ghana. When you all plan on going back?
Yeah. Our flight is on January 3rd.
Oh, so you already ready to roll?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So maybe I'm not sure when I'll be going back, but you know how this go.
I know it. I already know.
It is what it is. Anyway, you all enjoy the rest of the night. I know y'all really not into the holidays and all of that stuff, but enjoy the holidays. You here? Enjoy it all. Enjoy your family and all of that stuff. And we will see y'all when we see y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.